Okay, let's get started.
Just raise your glasses high. This one's sweet.
Turtle time.
Kendall Jenner has officially acknowledged that the Kardashian curse exists and that she's been cursing people for years. But don't get too scared, because it turns out this affirmation of the Kardashian curse is just part of a new ad campaign for Fanatics Sportsbook. Kendall is clearly making light of the curse in hopes that it will create engagement among her fans. Amy, have you witnessed this new ad campaign starring Kendall Jenner, and are you excited for it at the big game this year?
I did not see that. So she's saying the Kardashian curse goes outwardly? Like she can curse upon?
I think so. It relies on inherent Kardashian knowledge to make this as fun as it could possibly be. But I think that people say that when a Kardashian dates like an athlete, that it causes their demise and they blow it big time after they've dated a Kardashian. So the premise of the ad, which is kind of delightful, is that she does this on purpose and then bets on their downfall.
Oh,
and
that's
then
funny.
Yeah, it made me really laugh. And then at the end of it, she's kind of she's reveling in participating in this Kardashian curse and making money off of it. She's like, this is how I make money, by dooming these people. And then at the end of it, she's getting in a plane and she asks the pilot if they can take her to San Francisco. And then she winks at the camera. So she's getting ready to go cause chaos at the big game this year.
I hope the Kardashian curse doesn't work for actors as well and hurt Timmy's chances of winning the little gold man.
Oh, you're right. They are clearly delineating that this only affects athletes and that Timothée Chalamet is completely safe. If anything, he's having the time of his life post having Kylie Jenner, in his world. So I don't think it all applies to actors.
Yeah. I have seen that you are able to bet on award season now on
Really?
those apps. Yes.
Whoa. Oh my God. I don't gamble or bet at all. And, so I don't even know this world, but it's a huge deal now. I was reading this book called Football by Chuck Klosterman, and he talked about how much gambling is just like infiltrated all professional sports. It's so wild.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's so they make it too easy to do all this stuff. But I think this Fanatics sportsbook one is one of the most ethical and reasonable ones from what they say in the ad. There's a huge disclaimer at the end that says this is one of the better ones, and it's not as horrible.
Well, I hope it goes better than her Pepsi ad.
Oh my God, I remember that. It was putting a big flower in a Pepsi bottle, or giving a Pepsi bottle to a
I think it was like the last time our country was in utter turmoil. And then she was like, how about a Pepsi and a flower in your Pepsi? And everyone was like, boo.
Oh my God. Who can forget? Yeah, this is going to go this is going to go better, I think. People are more on board with this being in sort of the online sports gambling world. But have you seen any of other of these big game ads coming down the pipeline?
No, I really haven't. I'm out of the loop on this.
Oh my God.
Have the teams been chosen?
Yeah, they just got chosen about 6 days ago or 4 days ago. Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots are going to be facing off, I guess, in San Francisco for the big game this year. So it's huge. So that's a big two huge teams, and we love who to me. To the winner goes the spoils.
Good on ya, whoever may take this statue.
If you had to choose right now, because I'm getting Super Bowl fever, if you had to choose from those teams I just listed, Seattle Seahawks and New England Patriots, if you got access to $100 of free money from Fanatics Sportsbook to bet on the big game this year, who would you be putting your dollars on?
Is this who I think will win or who I want to win?
Let's say that you bet with your heart because it's free money, and you're also looking for the odds because they could be in the favor of the team that you desire more with passion. So let's say you don't care and you're frivolous with this money.
Does Tom Brady still play?
No, he's an announcer. That's a great question, and I'm glad one that I could answer. No, he's because I saw
He's done.
because I saw 10 minutes of the game that led to this game. No, he's an announcer. I watched the LA Rams versus Seattle Seahawks, and Tom Brady is now a total announcer. And they say he's been getting his feet wet, and now he's actually pretty adept at it.
Mm. Well, I always associate him with the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
And I don't like the cut of his jib, so I'm going
Really?
to vote against them.
All right. So if you had $100 of hypothetical money on Fanatic Sportsbook,
Pacific Northwest.
that's great. I do, in theory, like the idea of Seattle and the Seahawks, and even I like the colors of that team. So if I was going aesthetically, I kind of like something about the Seattle Seahawks, but I don't know shit. And I'm just hoping for a wonderful game. And I hope it's not embarrassing for either of them, that no one loses too badly. I want sportsmanship and brinksmanship, and to the winner goes the spoils.
As they say.
Yeah, but that was what that book I mentioned, Chuck Klosterman's new book, Football, was absolutely wonderful. You don't need to know shit about football, which I don't, to have the time of your life. It's his interesting perspective that he lends to pop culture, now fully geared towards football, and it's really fun, the kind of crazy stuff he talks about.
Didn't Michael Lewis do like a betting one?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Well, that's huge. Yes, Michael Lewis in his bibliography has definitely tackled betting in some capacity. One of his first books was about the money markets and him being a trader. That's not really betting, I guess, but it is sort of in that wheelhouse.
Pretty much.
For sure. And then you got to imagine, I'm not going to look at his bibliography, but you have to imagine he did something in around the betting world. His last book, I talked about that a lot, his Bitcoin book.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is as fun as books get. But don't get me started on books, because I will talk your ear off for about 5 minutes. I think you and I should talk about what the hell has been bubbling up in the summer house sphere. Speaking of Super Bowl fever, a lot of people have summer house fever. If you don't like sports and you like Bravo, this is more of our Super Bowl that Summer House is coming out. And the wheels are churning in the content farm for Summer House, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. I think, wait, is it literally next week? Am I crazy?
February 3rd. So whatever.
Oh, my gosh.
So whatever that is.
Yeah, that's next week. Bravo released a little 2-minute clip of the, initial scene of everyone getting picked up for the summer house, and I was smiling ear to ear the whole time. The very start of it is that Amanda does not ride with Kyle.
Yeah. Yes.
He takes her to Sierra's car, she switches cars, and then he drives with Carl and Jesse.
Yeah, he wanted to put his big DJ deck on Amanda's lap, I think, and it's huge. It's 6 feet tall and 4 feet wide, and she was like, "This is going to be horrible to have to drive with that." So she goes in with Sierra, and it's like you said, sort of like giving us a premonition of what's to come. I just want to say this isn't a huge spoiler because everybody knows, but some people have had access to the screener. This is not a spoiler, but people say that Kyle and Amanda, shit is going bad pretty quickly between them already. Yeah. So that was just a little taste that things are bad. But apparently this premiere has a lot more Kyle and Amanda action, to the point of where they had to make that statement, I think, when they did, because people were going to feel it. And then speaking of that, Kyle Cooke went on Carl Radke's new podcast called More Life, which we haven't talked about at all. Carl has a podcast. Did you have any thoughts on that initially when Carl says he has a podcast called More Life?
Why not? Everyone should have one at this point.
I think so too. And everybody just gets to listen if they want. It's like Tom Schwartz has a podcast. I'll listen to that if I enjoy it. Jack's had a podcast. At a certain point you stop listening. And he stops doing it. It just doesn't matter. Yeah. Everyone should have one.
Good title. Makes sense. He said he considered it for his book title, but went a different way, and now he gets to use it for the podcast.
I have a question about that.
Mm-hmm.
In my world, as a Drake fan, which I know Carl is like, I'm number 2 or 3 biggest Drake fan. He's probably top 5. I feel like copywriting More Life is sort of an issue. It's a huge album by Drake, and the quote was spawned by Carl having his More Life era. I'm kind of surprised that he's even able to, like, he must be at a point where he's talking about those copyright issues with Drake's team or Universal or whoever owns the trademark. But he was able to pull it off for the podcast.
I mean, I hope he thought about that because remember, Reasonably Shady got sued by Marshall Mathers.
Yeah, and he would have a hard time being like, I thought of More Life all on my own. It's like, look at the timestamp. It was 2016, and it was right after the album came out, and you love Drake. Like, that one's hard for me, but maybe Drake is like, hey, you can do it. Like,
Carl Stan.
He's like, hey, I gave away the trademark to you. But I think it's a great, wonderful idea. I like the focus of it. And then he came out with a huge blast out of the cannon with Kyle Cooke as his guest. And there were some revelations. People are still kind of going through this now because it dropped the day of our recording. But one huge bombshell that came out is that at a certain point, Kyle and Amanda could not watch Summer House together because they were relitigating their feuds and fights as they watched. So it became no longer fun for them to watch it because they'd be like, this is why I said that. And what the hell were you thinking? And then it would cause them to fight. So at a certain point, Amanda said, I don't want to watch this with you. So they haven't watched Summer House since season 6 or 7. They said. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that happens all the time on, by the time that people get to the reunion, they're pissed again because they had to watch the season, something that they made up about mid-season when they watched the show back, they get pissed again,
Yeah. And then I think Carl related and he goes, Lindsay used to go in a dark room and start watching. And then all of a sudden,
get the hell out of there.
43 minutes later, he'd hear Carlito and he'd have to go in there to talk to her
She's
about
like
what she had witnessed.
Whipping a chain.
So this is meta. This is about as meta as it gets. Learning how the Bravo celebrities consume Bravo shows is really interesting, and it says a lot because I guess Kyle and Amanda got to the point where they didn't even want to watch each other interact, on camera, even with an edit. So that was crazy. And then Kyle revealed what the hell "send it" means for the first time in my life. I had no fucking clue. I've just been saying "send it" mindlessly, like a moron for years. I never thought about the origins, and he said it comes from extreme sports. Did you hear this?
Yeah, he was like putting your body on the line without regard for, injury.
Yeah, snowboarders.
Okay. Sure.
I said, okay, sure, too. Snowboarders and skateboarders and a lot of these extreme X Games oriented sports, apparently right before you rip a huge flip on a snow hill. You say, send
West
it, my friend.
During kickball. Remember how hard he went for that?
Oh, right. Oh, or did you say, like when West was doing he was sending it in that kind of sports environment. Yeah. So I guess I sort of always thought that quite possibly it could have been in that realm, but to have it confirmed was very interesting to me. I thought. I just why didn't I never think about what the origin was? Because I never really got it.
Really something to chew on. The only other thing I'll say from that clip was that the Summer House clip is that there's a newbie. West is bringing a newbie to the house. I think his name was KJ, and he drove in with him. So Jesse now has competition to be West's bestie.
Yeah, they poke at it, and I think Carl and Kyle kind of say, "What would you do if he wants to room with his new best friend?" And Jesse, you could tell, has he could possibly cry at any moment. And then Carl also had a fun moment where he goes, "I don't want to go back in that bedroom upstairs that I have to always go to. It's sort of removed. I want to be down on the bottom floor where the action is." And they go, "Carl wants action this summer," and they start to squeal with happiness that Carl wants to be in it more, which I think is very fun.
Yeah, he's wearing a tank top and a cowboy hat. He's ready to go.
It really made me want to scream, send it to the screen those first 3 minutes. So I'm so excited to see it.
Oh my God, the countdown is on. As of the people listening to this only have 6 days until the new one.
Oh my God. I hope everybody has Summer House fever right now, because I feel it burning me up. And then speaking of other stuff that are sort of in progress, Bravo shows that are sort of on the road to coming out at some point, UGT Road Trip 20 years Later, I think it's called. Kind of has an unwieldy name.
20
It's
years strong.
20 years strong, is making headlines every single city they stop at.
Yeah. I can't keep up. It's insane.
First, it was Nene got the biggest reveal of all time. It was like a mandated post that every single UGT cast member had to say, "Look at this photo of us with Nene. Can you believe this?" And they all came out at the same time. I've never seen anything like an orchestrated PR release where it was like,
Yeah.
"Look at us." With Nene, and then I think we had Kim Zolciak filming for a second on that
Mhm.
Atlanta stop.
Them reunited, the two of them.
Them reunited, and then they went down to, I guess you have to say, south to Miami. And people said that the minute that they touched down into Miami, Adriana and Alexia were fighting their asses off immediately in Miami, and that was also creating headlines. So it's stirring up controversy and conflict wherever they go around the United States.
Yeah, looks like there's gonna be a white party that Luann performs at. I don't know if it's at Kyle's house, but that's what it looked like. And there's a bunch of throwback people in that. And then we just saw today that freaking Alex McCord is getting flown out. So I am pleasantly surprised that they're treating this as a true celebration of the entire legacy. They're going up. It's not just Crappy Lake or something. It's everybody, all people you haven't seen in a long time. I'm curious about the format. I don't really get how it works, but hey, I'll be there with bells on.
Me too. I'm strapping bells on. And I mean, Alex McCord coming back. We were deprived of it from that Morocco shit.
Yeah.
You know, she filmed an entire trip, and then that was on the cutting room floor in the Bravo vault right now. Alex McCord is probably like, "Don't cut me out this time, Bravo." Wink, wink. But, you know, obviously she's excited to come. No Simon, though, but I bet we'll probably get a huge Simon and her wonderful sons a check-in from Australia. You know what I mean? A couple times.
I just searched it, and I've seen multiple posts where they're calling it Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, Roaring 20th.
Oh, right.
The hell? Is that a nod to all of the 20s themed parties we've been victim to?
Yeah. I think someone, when they thought 20, the first thing that came to their heads was Roaring 20s. But I got to say, I don't know if that's a wonderful title. I hope it's the working title, just because Roaring 20s is a thing, but the Roaring 20th as an anniversary isn't really a thing. And why would you want it? Why would you want to have the word roaring in a title? Right. I mean, I love the word roaring in the context of animals and stuff, but I don't think that UGT necessarily needs that title. Hopefully, I think Ultimate Girls Trip Road Trip is better than Roaring 20th edition, but I think they're still, don't you think they're still tweaking that thing?
Oh yeah, please. I hope so.
Great. Well, that was the news. I mean, 19 minutes of news is always good, but I think you and I should talk about not the season finale, apparently. This is not the season finale of Potomac, but it is the penultimate. But it was definitely treated like the season finale of Potomac before they get to the a special that they're going to have with Karen Huger post-prison. So they couldn't call this technically the season finale because there's one more episode, but it had all of the hallmarks of that. And it really, I mean, I can't say this enough. It kind of justified Potomac this entire season because of how fraught this Angel trip gets. After 3 or 4 episodes of watching this thing, you think you're going to have possibly the hero's journey or a triumphant climax for Angel, you know, like that she could learn from this experience and pull out all the stops for this Wonderland event at the end of it, but it actually ends up blowing up so hard in Angel's face that it's even worse by the end of it. And again, she is left just miserable and crying by the end of this thing. It is so sad. I've never seen anything like it.
It couldn't have gone worse. It felt like she was cursed by the Blair Witch in that she couldn't find the campground that she invited the entire cast and crew to. Yeah. And I'm like, there are cameras on the ground with your staff and a cook making food for the women. Like, she's like, I got a pin and it took us 3 hours the wrong way. And she was just driving the entire episode in circles. It was like exactly the nightmare I always have where I just can't get where I'm going,
Yeah.
like that thing where you can't find your car or you just never can get to your flight or whatever. It was insane. It was so sad.
And it was so sad because Tia and Kay kind of still had to be emotional support for Angel, but even they knew that this was horrible and it was going so bad and they could barely fake it, even though they're so supportive of Angel. It was just the worst circumstances in the world. And she already looked bad to the other group. And the fact that the other team are all of her haters over there, just making this so much worse for her on the other end. It was just very sad, but also very funny because you've never seen shit like this before. Angel, they have a constant marker of where Angel is, and they're just in the woods spinning around for hours and hours. And she goes, the anglers. I was trying to get where the anglers were going, so that's why the pin was a little different. And then when Giselle and everybody hear that, they're going, what the fuck are you talking about? Isn't this your company? You don't know where the hell you're going. And then you also, you have to imagine that producers took a hands-off approach here. And they said, we know where Wonderland is, but we are letting you rely on that coordinate pin drop, and you just have to go through this yourself with no reception. At a certain point, they could not interfere, and I'm glad they didn't.
The documentarian's code.
Yes, absolutely.
It's also such a flop for her business because she was thinking it was going to be the most glorious endorsement for the services they offer, and it turns out that whatever pin they give you, you might just never get there. Yeah. And she tried to spin it in the most glorious way. They go, wait, why can't you find it? Didn't you book it? Isn't this your company? And she goes, it's a very exclusive location. It's that's one way to put it.
Yeah, and Giselle gets one on her. She goes, it's so exclusive that you don't know where it is. And it's everybody's laughing because you can't help it. It's just funny and it's so sad. At one point, Angel's going into the woods and there's a truck blocking it and a tree that's fallen so that she can't get through. And they have no idea where they are with no reception. And they have to do reverse on this dirt road in the middle of the woods. And Tia and Kay are scared. They're I can't open my eyes. I'm so worried. And then there's fun moments where the other side decide to give up on their trip because they're driving for an hour and 45 minutes. I mean, logistically, none of it made sense ever. The fact that they're going to do this robust fly fishing trip 2 hours away at the start of their day to make it and then make it to their flight later already was a nightmare of planning. And so then it just went even worse than that. So everybody stops off and then they eat this pizza from a gas station. And there's a fun moment where they all sort of have this moment of being oh my God, this pizza is so great. And they have some bonding moments there between them, despite Angel and Tia and Kay having a horrible time.
Right. Yeah, they're all I don't eat gas station food. Can you believe they have us here eating gas station food? And I was I bet that gas station food truck is bomb as hell. What are you talking about?
Oh, it seemed so good, the pizza there. I knew it was good the minute that they set that pizza down. I knew that they were having a fun time. So yeah, this was a supersized episode, and the reason it is because they wanted to dedicate 30 or 40 minutes to just the trial that they're all going through on this trip. I mean, half of the episode is just the footage that they got in the car of them driving, but they actually got a lot of great stuff just while they were driving. They end up having a pretty big showdown between Jazzy and Stacy and Wendy in the car, where Stacy opens up sort of a trigger for her with Jazzy, which was that she didn't like that Jazzy got Charisse's number because Charisse has been kind of, I guess, not very kind to Stacy. And then Jazzy kind of once that is open, that door is open for her, she brings up the rumor that Stacy wasn't going to go to her wedding until she found out that Wendy and Ashley were going. And in this case, I think the facts are not on Stacy's side. It seems pretty clear that was the impetus for her going to Jazzy's wedding, was once she learned that Ashley was going, at least. Right. So it causes a little bit of a rift there. And then Wendy, who's had every reason to fight Stacy over the last few episodes, but has remained loyal to her, finally goes in on her. And Stacy really can't take it when Wendy turns on her after a while and kind of leaves that gas station pizza thing. She wants to go home.
Right. Yeah. But Wendy, she really has a tender spot for Stacy because even after all of that, she goes, all right, I've always been cool with you. I always give you another chance. And by the end of it, they hug it out. And I'm I love that Wendy will not denounce Stacey. I don't know if she just thinks that she's a nice person or if she's seeing how it's going to play on camera because she can tell that Stacey's a star, or both, but she never goes too hard on her, at least not for too long. Whereas, Giselle would put Stacey in a ditch.
Yes.
Like she has no care for her.
Oh no, totally. It was a sweet moment because Wendy is able to get it resolved within a couple of minutes. Like goes over there to console Stacey, and they end up hugging and kissing. One thing that I wanted to say about the Jazzy and Stacey thing is that Stacey makes a huge accusation against Jazzy, and says that Jazzy was secretly recording their phone calls, which doesn't get a lot of attention. But I wanted to say in Jazzy's defense that I have done that over 5 times in my life, where you can accidentally press some button while you're holding the phone up to your head, and it goes, "You are being secretly recorded by your friend." And I've been on work calls before where my friend is talking shit, and we're talking about work, and he's going nuts thinking that I'm a safe space, and it's done a very loud, "You are being recorded by your friend Riley right now."
Like on the iPhone, it has that?
Yes. There is something, and let me know if you've ever had this happen. It's on speakerphone. If you like lift the phone up to your ear to hear better or something, there is some button that you can press that starts to record a phone call, but it lets everyone on the call know that they're being recorded. So I feel like Jazzy, it was a total accident. Like, Stacey, do not read too much into that, because I've been accused of secretly recording many phone calls during my life, and none of them have been because I have wanted to. I never have that impulse to record a phone call.
Wow. I missed that moment, but I also just wanted to skip back to the beginning of the episode when they're at the Four Seasons. They go around the piano creating custom songs based on their scenario, and just some funny stuff. But I think the real zinger was Tia rhymed, I forget what the original rhymes were, but then she added on, "Giselle booked the Four Seasons and regained the power," and everyone was like,
It was the best way that could have gone when you get around a piano with friends and you start improvising lyrics. It starts great, and then they start rhyming. They say, "We wanted to take a shower, and then it took an hour." So that made our faces sour. And then Tia says, "But then Giselle took back the trip and regained all the power." And Giselle is playing the piano at that moment, and she starts striking the keys really hard out of joy because she loves that line, and they have a wonderful bonding moment between them. That was a beautiful thing. I love that. And also I loved that I could feel for them when they got to the Four Seasons after having that night of no water or whatever. They just are reveling in the Four Seasons for a really long time. Like, they're all taking baths and showers and talking about how nice the rooms are right in front of Angel, which is already sad enough. Jazzy said that she felt like Kevin McAllister in Home Alone 2 when she got to the Four Seasons ordering a huge cheese pizza, which I thought was a very funny reference.
And then the Angel, Tia, and Kay just don't even stay there, because by the time they get back to the house to get their shit, they were like, "We're not driving the hour and a half back." So the room's just sat empty, which I'm like, that's many thousands. I mean, probably production money, who cares? But
yeah, but everything bad about the trip was just how far away everything was. And whoever made the initial decision...
Planning 101, like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, everything was like an hour and a half away. I mean, and even the main activity day going into Aspen or whatever was a flight that you had to take. No. So it was horribly planned, and I think that production let Angel do enough to where they knew that this was going to be wonderful fodder for the end of the season, and it was. I mean, it really yielded some fun stuff. And then, so I would recommend this episode for anyone, even if you haven't seen the season. It's just so inherently fun. You don't even have to know shit about what happened this season. It's a wonderful episode of a trip gone wrong. And then I was so proud of Bravo. I was like, oh my God, you just put out a wonderful 52-minute supersized episode that I loved. And then it's like, oh my God, Karen is getting out of jail right now. And they had the cameras all there, stationed just like everyone else. And then they had the car, the black car that she takes out of jail, was strapped with all of the cameras. Like, they knew. They had it ready to go. Karen had a deal made to come out and do the first interviews for Bravo, and they got the footage of her. She's in the car, and she immediately takes a deep breath, and she starts praying. And they just end the episode on like 30 seconds of Karen just praying silently to herself. And then they lead us to the episode that is coming up next, which is the huge one-on-one sit down between Karen and Andy, which I was just like, oh my God. Like they are
iconic.
They are ending so strong. The fact that they kept Karen in the mix, despite her not technically being a full-time cast member, is just a perfect decision that they made.
Did you like that before they showed her walking out of jail, they used Tally Ho Restaurant B-roll?
Absolutely. I was like, what's the hell's going to be on this B-roll? Where the hell are we? And then I saw Tally Ho, and I was like, oh my God, that's the place that Karen loves so much.
We also, the end, it's interesting that this isn't, I guess this is an extenuating circumstance that next week is the finale, because this week really was the finale. They did the text updates at the end, which included that Wendy was arrested and that she's facing up to 15 years, which, I mean, between that and Karen, the reunion has to be like popping.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's going to be great. It just... Well, yeah, I mean, I always think that reunions can be better than the season just because I don't know what it is. They're exciting and there's so much action in them. But the fact that they have Karen waiting for them at least the start is so great. Like so many people are going to watch who didn't even like this season just to see that moment of her return. So it's going to be wonderful. I'm very excited about that. And then you and I are going to keep recapping it because why the hell would we not? It's great.
Yeah, I am excited for that. I personally, I know you might disagree, but I enjoyed Potomac more than Vanderpump Rules this week. We will get into it. I don't know. I feel like week to week, I flip-flop on if I'm enjoying this show.
Okay, I think the main problem is not having any attachment to these cast members and not being endeared to them in any way, because I have the same thing where I feel like I'm watching facsimile of a stronger cast, because I just cannot shake what this actually is, the fact that it's Lisa and we're still talking about Sir and wine, all that kind of stuff, that I'm like, I don't know who the hell you are. I don't know who you are. And it's hard for me to care about you. So despite me trying to give this all the benefit of the doubt as a new show, it's still jarring to be invested in a bunch of new people that I don't really care about. But I actually thought that I took away whatever part of the brain that has those reservations, and I just watched this for what was promised, which is a sexy, naughty, funny show created by Lisa Vanderpump as a direct compliment to shows like Southern Hospitality, you know, The Next Generation. And I really felt like this was the embodiment of what it was supposed to be at the start. They let their guard down and stop fake fighting or even having real fights that just keep bubbling up. And they just learn to enjoy each other. So by the end of this episode, they're all actually just like making out with each other and having fun and partying their asses off. And I felt like that vicarious thrill of seeing people party really hit me hard this episode, where I was like, this would be so fucking fun. Being in San Luis Obispo with a bunch of your friends, you're getting a house paid for you by a mysterious benefactor. Yeah. All you're doing there is to party and have fun. And then the fact that they all just actually do it and they're taking their shirts off, swinging them over their heads and making out. And Demi's like, why the fuck are we all so horny? And it's like crazy. I was like, it was insane. Like they were making out. Venus is having the time of his life finally. Like they just buried the hatchet and they showed that this group together can have fun, which I think was kind of a problem that I had the last couple episodes where I was like, is this actually a friend group? Do they have anything to offer except for starting little fights and pretending like they've been friends forever? This was like them learning to appreciate each other while they were, out on a trip. But let's go through it quickly, because I can totally see the world in which you live and what the majority of people probably see when they watch this.
Yeah. I mean, that debauchery's in the last 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So the first 38 minutes, I was like, all right.
And I will say that Lisa's wine event was the most lackluster event she's ever put on in years. Yeah. It reminded me of the kind of shit she pulls on that other show that we've barely even watched, Vanderpump Villa. Right. It was like her learning from Vanderpump Villa what she should do on this show, and she should learn no lessons from Vanderpump Villa that are taken to Vanderpump Rules. So that was a boring, I will give it to you, boring 15 minutes at the center of this, where we just had to placate Lisa for what she wants to do with the show.
I don't even know what she thought. She thought that it was sexy. She goes, we're a naughty, sexy young brand. I'm like, Vanderpump Wines?
She goes, naughty, sexy. I mean, a little bit of probably she thought that some of the chaos that she always has wanted would trickle down onto this event. But this is actually professional staff. I mean, beside Marcus barfing in a fountain because he's so hungover, they kind of delivered what they were supposed to, being hot. The Women in Wine event table loved Chris and Jason. And I think that she, as a professional, this is what she wanted from the event. But I don't think that if she had her way as an executive producer, this event really went well, because they actually had so much deference for the event and didn't start shit the entire time.
Right. But yeah, the beginning of the episode is them at the house. It picks up where the OnlyFans conversation left off. Angelica's, really running with this. She says she dodged an incestuous bullet on all of that. And then she tells Shane about, she's like, they're oiling each other up in the video. They're spreading each other's asses. And he's like, no way. He's like, I can't even believe that. And he goes, although one time my cousin did bring his girlfriend over when we were teenagers, and she taught me how to make girls squirt.
Yeah. Shane believes in the theory of, I think, radical honesty. And I love that Shane is so honest. I mean, the ethical monogamy
I feel like
thing,
he was immediately like, why did I even say that?
I mean, I feel like that a revelation like that is just something that would have never made it. I mean, we saw a lot of shit on the earlier iteration of Vanderpump Rules, but that is something that I don't think we would learn within the fifth episode of a new series. It was kind of like, I have a story about that, so just so you know, I want to unburden my soul about a situation with a cousin in the past. I don't know if we should get into like what that means. Just seems like sort of a family history, I guess, that you didn't necessarily have to share in the hot tub with Angelica.
Yeah, there's a lot going out at the Davis's house. He also was like, haha, like, you're going to need a lot of therapy getting to know me. And she goes, oh no, I don't have health insurance. I was like, how much did that jujitsu MRI cost you then?
Oh, right. I didn't even, oh my God, I completely forgot about all of her MRI shit that she had to get after Jason was whipping her around like crazy.
I can't even imagine.
Oh my God, that's horrible. Yeah. The OnlyFans gate does get tamped down for a while. They decide not to bring it up for this entire episode after Shane learns about it. So they're kind of like respectful of the Women in Wine event, I guess. So not telling Chris and Jason that they found that out for the rest of the episode. I did think it was fun and reminiscent of Days of Yore, that everyone is sort of a 6 out of 10, and then Marcus is actually a 10 out of 10 drunk. He immediately ruins the vibe at one point where Natalie is like, oh, I'm getting along with people. Natalie's great in this episode, by the way. I was harsh on what the hell she was doing over the last couple of episodes, but she's pretty great. She's like, oh, because Jason comes to her defense in the hot tub. And he's like, Natalie, I just feel like you wear your heart on your sleeve, and I'm so proud of you, and blah, blah. And she's so happy that Jason takes her side, that there's this flirty chemistry for the rest of the episode. And then Marcus comes out, and he's drunk as a skunk. And he starts screaming and yelling for no reason. Natalie calls him out on the fact that him and Kim always are fighting, and she's like kind of in the middle of it. And then he goes, man, you don't get me started. Venus over there, I love that guy so much. Can you fucking believe what happened with him? I'm going to cry. Don't make me cry right now. And then he just starts crying in front of his friends. And I swear, I have been in that situation maybe 50 times. That's the energy I bring, is I'm a Marcus to my friend group. If I get too drunk, I cry. And then Jason, I think, has to console him for a minute. But you could tell that Venus has a little sparkle in his eye, that he's like, oh my God, that's my friend over there. He still loves me. It was very kind of sweet, because they have this they have a feud, but I know that they're going to get, because they were friends, actually. They were back to
Mhm.
being friends when we saw them at
Right.
SUR. So I knew that this was going to end at some point.
Right. They end the night by going skinny dipping. Again, a Vanderpump tradition.
Yep.
We are used to that. And then we hit the morning. It starts out by saying, this feeds into what happens later, but Venus says he doesn't get hit on in WeHo at all. They're not vibing with his luscious locks. And so later, the whole group rallies around trying to get him laid.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. He said in WeHo, it's big and muscular are the two things you have to have. And he goes, he's the bottom of the barrel in terms of what people are looking for in West Hollywood. Yeah, there is nothing really of note. Jason does say that he wishes that he didn't have pasta, a bunch of baked ziti the night before because he got pretty bloated. And there is a little bit more chemistry between Jason and Natalie. He goes, you smell so fucking good. She goes, this old thing? This is how I smell when I don't care how I smell. And he goes, great.
We also get, it turns out that Jason's brother, Justin, called Chris, his cousin as well, about, I guess they're going to Bali sometime soon. And he was like, yo, dog, we're going to fuck mad bitches. And then Audrey was right there and he was like, dude, shut up. Like, I can't be having my girl hear that.
Yeah. He goes, dude, that sucked that you said that. And then Audrey is cold. Chris doesn't say anything to Audrey. He just tells everyone that he thinks Audrey probably heard that fucking.
I don't like, did you confirm or no?
Yeah. And then Audrey and him are kind of in a little bit of a rough patch at this Women in Wine event. But this event, I mean, oh my God. Lauren Rava from Rava Wines meets Vanderpump Wines, and they're doing this heavy hitter conference where everyone's going to sit down and taste wine.
The Women in Wine, and she says it's the creme de la creme of the wine business. And someone asked if she brought her dogs, and Lisa goes, I didn't bring dogs, but I did bring wild animals, as in her staff. And I was like, they kind of just like did their jobs.
Yeah,
so.
they weren't wild at all. They were being so wonderful. They were great. If Lisa's hosting an event, you know it's going to be creme de la creme.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, is it always?
Venus says that Lisa Vanderpump is an icon of the United States of America. He really has reverence, which I'm sure she loves. Yeah,
he says that, and then he already talked about how goat cheese balls should be the American food of the year. So and then they kind of have to add in that shit is going bad. So the editors are like, a vase fell over. And it's like, well, the wind did that. Are you going to blame Natalie? And then they fake, like they do a record scratch when Chris goes, here comes wines. And Lisa goes, oh my God, I was speaking.
That's enough.
That's enough, you naughty, sexy, naughty young guy. And then she goes, that was a wonderful event. Right.
Yeah. I will say Marcus was the flop of the
Yeah.
group. He was sitting the entire time. Everyone else was doing the work. And then they kept cutting back to the house because Shane doesn't work there. So he didn't have to work. So he just was at the house. He was working out. He was doing the Wim Hof method. He was playing cornhole. He was, I always keep having to be reminded that he's not even on the staff.
Yeah, he's just having a day to himself. He goes, I loved it, but then I got lonely and I missed my friends. I want to do an impromptu cast ranking from you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, I don't know this to be true, but I have to assume that Shane has sort of shot up a little bit because we've gotten to know him a lot more over the past 3 episodes. Would I be true in saying something like that?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely entertaining. I think he has more pizzazz than the cousins. Earlier in this episode, Jason reveals that he's not totally clear on what empathy is. Yeah. And I'm like, his IQ score is dropping by the minute.
Yeah, well, he in his defense, he was a little drunk and he just had a bunch of baked ziti. So I think he had that pasta fog.
I will say a hat tip to Demi for feeding the entire group painstakingly. I would have been like, you guys feed yourself or we're ordering some pizzas. I can't be doing all this.
I would have said the exact same. I am not the person who makes a big meal for everyone on my trip. I would blow it big time. Demi did everything. She didn't even Jason was trying to eat the mushrooms off the hot skillet. He was like, these don't look hot. Let me eat some of them. She goes, get away from me, Jason. So Okay, so wait. I mean, I guess we don't have to do this long, but top 3. I know you don't love anybody, but who's your top 3 of this new iteration? Who are you finding even a semblance of joy from?
Yeah.
Who strikes joy within you?
Probably Venus.
Mm.
He's unique and funny. Shane, never know what stories he's going to come up with next. And then, yeah, I guess Natalie, because she has a little bit of a wild card energy. Whereas I think Audrey seems actually cool,
Yeah.
but I don't know how great of TV she'll be ultimately.
Yeah, I understand. She seems very. Yeah, I don't want to use any disparaging comment because I think she's wonderful and a great person. So but I agree with you. She's not in my top 3.
Mhm.
Marcus, Natalie, Shane Davis. Those are my heavy hitters. Natalie came back with a bullet to the top of my list. I
Mhm.
think she was wonderful, and I like this flirtatious chemistry with Jason. And I think that she was exaggerating some of her fights in the past, and I hope she doesn't continue to do that and sort of just lays low a little bit, because I had the spark back for her that I had from the first 3 episodes. So they come back, and this is Lisa goes, great job at the event. You killed it. Wonderful, wonderful. Now stay in that house for 3 days.
With a case of wine left over from the party.
Yeah, it was like the pretense of this being just a work trip is over. She's like, I want you guys to party your asses off together
Lisa
for a really long
spent
time.
like $100,000 on this wine event because she's like had to pay everyone to be there and where they stayed and everything.
Yeah. Nothing, I wouldn't say that anything shoots out at me that this was great. Just the kind of time having fun with friends. They play a squirt gun game, but it's kind of like, it's fun enough. If I was playing that game with my friends, I would, enjoy it. But
Yeah. They're, I guess, kind of pre-gaming for going out in San Luis Obispo. It would appear that Kim and Marcus at some point got back together in the minutes in between us seeing them, and everyone's being very flirty. Shane gives Natalie a bite of his pulled pork sandwich, and Angelica is like, what the hell? Like, why is he offering her his sandwich? And Demi's like, he offered everyone his sandwich. And she's like, I don't go around offering people a sandwich.
yeah, I want to take a moment to highlight Angelica's jealousy. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it in years. I don't think on Bravo I've seen jealousy in a while. It's such a remarkable trait that when you see it, you're like, oh, that's what jealousy is. And I feel like I would never have thought this new generation of Vanderpump Rules people would have an actively jealous person who can't watch someone that they're just starting to talk to have someone bite their sandwich before. And it sounds like this, it makes me rethink that Barney's Beanery scandal that she brought up where he was holding hands with someone. I'm like, what the hell did Jason actually do? Kiss someone on the cheek and hug him? She is so jealous. It's wild to me. It's like, it's shocking. I don't know why. I just feel like sitcom characters aren't written as extremely jealous anymore. I just haven't seen that in a while. And she's as jealous as you can be.
Yeah, I do think she is a ticking time bomb, which is interesting to me. So eyes on her. Also, Jason, the flirtation continues with him and Natalie, and he's like, Natalie is so cool. Like, she just wears a leather jacket and has like long ass hair. Like, she doesn't even give a fuck. I'm like, long ass hair is like a thing.
He goes, yeah. I mean,
Can you even believe that?
It was, you're what you wonder about it, but then they show the photo of Natalie and she's wearing a very cool leather jacket, long hair, aviator sunglasses with 2 thumbs up. And I'm like, okay, I fucking get it. Natalie looks cool as hell. But yeah,
Big Fonz energy.
Totally. And then they're touching and flirting and he's trying to spin her around and she's like, no, I want to stay on the ground because, he wants to spin the shit out of her if he can. And then they're getting drunk. You got to say that they're getting drunk, like we know on Vanderpump Rules. And then Venus and everybody is sitting down drinking mezcals. They're getting ripped. And a guy named Kevin is kind of out of nowhere, is right next to Venus. And Venus goes, I ordered the smoke and honey. And he goes, which one are you, the smoke or the honey? And everybody's like, oh my God, this guy, Kevin, kind of, it seems like is flirting with Venus in a way. And Venus receives it, but is also a little timid, I'll just say, because I don't think Venus has been in a relationship in a while. So Venus admits that he doesn't know how to flirt back. And so the cast kind of rallies around him. for a little
Yeah.
bit.
Did you feel like Kevin was a plant?
Yeah. It seemed a little too fortuitous to
Mhm.
me. And I know, I've seen stuff like this before. So, yeah, it seemed like maybe like, hey, why don't you go on that side of the bar and start talking? But even if it was a plant, like by producers, I still liked how the cast went about, like, all of a sudden, Marcus, who is, I told you, my number one favorite cast member, he goes, even if me and Venus are in a bad place, I will still be his wingman and I still care about him. And then everyone kind of does that. Like Audrey takes Venus aside and slaps him in the face and says, get it together. It's time to
Yeah.
start flirting and having fun. So I like what happened as a result of
Yeah.
Kevin coming up.
It was cute. They kept bar hopping until they ended up at this place, Black Sheep Bar and Grill. Demi has a breathalyzer keychain that she has everyone doing, which was funny to me because the only time I've ever partied with a breathalyzer was in San Luis Obispo. Actually at the Madonna Inn, as mentioned last week. But the Madonna Inn has a convention center attached, so they have big events there. And there was like a sheriff convention.
Wow.
I maybe told this story before. It's pretty legendary within my friend group, but there were all these like men in cowboy hats, like sheriffs that funneled into the bar, and one of them had like a professional police grade breathalyzer.
Whoa.
And we were just breathalyzing like all night while we were drinking martinis. And the next day was like the worst hangover I've ever had, at least outside of my home, because we had to drive all the way back while we were absolutely on death's door, to the point where at one point, like 5 miles away on our way back, we just pulled over and parked outside of a Subway, like Subway sandwich, and ordered like a 6-inch and then just like stared at the 6-inch and just sat there for like 30 minutes until we could nibble it slowly and then drive back.
Wow, that sounds so fun. Wow, you had your own Vanderpump Rules trip anyway. What do you remember? What you blew?
I should go. I'm sure I have the album saved somewhere. We were getting some pretty high numbers. It was great. A great night. Fun thing to do.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. Like you almost wish that everyone was wearing their breathalyzer score around them when you're partying with them. Like I liked knowing Audrey's score. Like they all blow into it, and Audrey's like, "I'm a 0.6." Like, oh, you're not that. Well, I don't know. You're not that drunk. Like you could still drive. And then Demi is like 0.15, and Demi says that the highest she's ever blown is a 0.23, and breathalyzers only go to a 27. Imagine how drunk you are. Imagine if a cop pulled you over and you were hitting a 23 or a 27. Like they're like, oh my God, get to jail right now. You're drunk as hell.
Oh, this the professional one doesn't have a great like display because it's like it's not like, oh wait, oh my God. Look at, I don't know whose this was, but it's a 0.334.
No way. Oh. So a civilian breathalyzer only goes to
0.227 on this one.
Wow, that's drunk as hell. That's drunk as hell. So they're doing that. They're having fun. At one point, and this is when it's hard to describe. Like it's hard to promote an episode by being like people are having fun, but they are. Like the group chemistry is great right now. And Chris goes, hey, let me do a hypothetical with you, Venus. I'll pretend I'm a guy that is flirting with you. And he comes in and he's trying to be sexy, and they have a mock interaction of how Venus should flirt back. And they're all having fun and laughing. And then they're like, kiss. And Chris goes, I'll give him a hug, but I'm not going to kiss. And Marcus goes, did somebody say kiss? I'll kiss Venus. And he gives Venus a huge kiss. And it leads to all of them doing different pairings of kissing and making out around the table at the Black Sheep Bar and Grill, which I'm like, I think you're having fun when all your friends are kissing like that. You know you're having fun.
Yeah, Audrey and Venus, Natalie and Venus, Audrey and Natalie. They cheers to a good time. It's going well. They go to another club afterwards, and everyone just, Shane Davis takes his shirt off. I think all the guys take their shirt off. They're doing their stripper moves. People are making out, like you said, and it's a wild time. Everyone's having a blast. But then, of course, they tease us with a 17 hours later, and everyone's fighting.
Yeah. Well, They didn't. It was unnecessary. They just wanted to have a to be continued, even though next week is not going to be to be continued. They just wanted to let us know that they're going to be talking about the OnlyFans shit. But
Yeah.
I was liking this episode enough to where hearing Venus scream, "Here's to living our best fucking life," with that edit and that music and everybody's shirts off, talking about how horny everyone was. I was like, you could have ended it there. I think it's great. I don't even need you to bring up OnlyFans stuff again. But I'm excited to hear when that gets revealed to everyone next week.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious. I actually am curious about what the video that the ladies saw versus what they say they did, what the discrepancy will be.
I know. I wish Demi would have watched all 13 minutes because she's like, I only watched 45 seconds. They just started to, oil each other up. And I was like, you can't start a big, huge, gossip slash rumor to an entire group of people without getting all of the facts right. And you said you stopped it after 45 seconds. And the fact that Shane Davis doesn't believe it, and then we know that Jason is going to counter saying I didn't do anything close to that. I'm like, I wish you would have just watched it so you knew what the hell you were talking about.
Yeah, this is going to come up in a court of law.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, I liked that episode, but it was me giving the full benefit of the doubt to this cast and being like, I'm happy that they're finally having fun together. But I could totally imagine a world where if you weren't liking what the hell they were doing, then that women in wine event was lame. And like you said, it had a lot of fun partying right at the very end. So you kind of have to suffer through some stuff.
Right.
But who knows what could happen in the future, right?
Yeah, we're how many? I think that's episode 8 or something like that.
Yeah.
So potentially halfway. I'm not sure how long this season will be since it's the first of its kind.
I think we have an idea that it's only going to be about 3 more episodes or so because the reunions usually are filmed 1 month, I think before. So I have a feeling it's going to end around episode 12, but don't quote me on that. I'm wrong as hell all the time. But I think you and I, Amy, I've got to say this. I please have to take a certified turtle piss break. Could I do that, and maybe you as well, and then we come back to talk about this week's final part of the Salt Lake City reunion?
Yes, the last one for a while. We'll be back.
Okay, we're back.
Salt Lake City.
You know what? Before we get into it, I got to tell you, my mailman surprised the shit out of me in the last 3 hours since we last recorded. I got a book called Eat, Drink, and Remarry in the mail from Miss Patricia from Southern Charm.
Hell yeah. Does it have a message?
And it doesn't have a message, actually. I thought I don't care what I thought, but I was wondering maybe there'd be a message, but the message to me was loud and clear that it was so nice that she sent me this thing. It has the return address says Miss Patricia, and I just can't believe it. She sent it to me, and now it's all I can talk about. Eat, drink, and remarry. Can you believe this?
You're going to have to rip through that this weekend.
I really am. I wanted to share one thing with you. I didn't know this was real, but she has the first ascot that Whitney ever got, and there's a photo to commemorate it. Did you know that he got an ascot for the first time, and they have a photo of it?
Stunning.
Yeah. Anyway, well, that's Eat, Drink, and Remarry. Thank you so much, Miss Patricia. I just wanted to spotlight that. Okay. What the hell was going on this chapter of the Salt Lake City reunion?
Yeah. I also wanted to say that this could have been part of news, but it ties into Salt Lake. I forgot to say that Charlie XCX at Sundance was like, holy shit, met Meredith Marks.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot to mention that too. She said something like that, right? Like she was so excited. And then Meredith said, I wish we could have done a bump of Meredith Marks caviar. Did you see that response? Oh my God.
Bumping that. I think Bronwyn was at Sundance also because, she's a movie producer extraordinaire behind the scenes. But yeah, it was like, I wish I could have partied with Charlie and Meredith.
Me too. Our friend Zachary Reality went there.
Ugh, he's everywhere.
He gets to go everywhere. He's such a fun guy. So, all right. Okay. Salt Lake City, this stuff, I really felt like we always say, I don't know. They were kind of just throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall on this one. I felt like we could have trimmed some of this.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of shit to parse, and we'll go through it all, but Mainly, I want to just say how frustrated I found this entire part. I was frustrated this entire season. I just got to be honest.
Mhm.
And I cannot, I've said this 100 times, like, I cannot see the reality that everyone sees about Meredith and about Lisa. I mean, Lisa, I give more people credit. They're like, they can't stand her for some reason. But this Meredith shit is like the most fake psyop in history. Like, I've never seen anything like it in my life. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it is so crazy to me. At a point in the reunion, they were saying, at that lunch, we weren't talking about her doing drugs. Far from it. It was nothing like that. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? It has been said over and over again that she is a miserable drug addict who is suffering internally, and it's causing every decision she makes because she's suffering from it. I was like, this is so crazy to me. It's like the worst. It is so much worse than what they did to Lisa Vanderpump on Beverly Hills, because at least the Radar Online shit, I believed that Lisa did that. I knew she did it, and she had to get her comeuppance for it. This is like, they tried to take down Lisa, and they couldn't get shit on her. So they said, well, what if we tried to take down Meredith halfway through the season? It is so like annoying to watch if you do not give them any grace on this storyline, which I do not at this point.
I was willing to follow the thread for a long time, but even if they are talking about something truthful, the fact that it could never be proven in any way, there were multiple storylines or accusations this season that never came to a head, really. Like, this is the third mega-sized reunion, and the plane is still, no more information about the plane has surfaced at all. That just makes it feel not worth talking about. So it just kind of fizzles in a way that is frustrating. Like, I feel like their last defense was to try and take down Meredith for shitting on production, which I did like that. They, like, Mary cried about it.
Oh my God. They seriously sounded like they all just got in a cult together. I thought it was so pathetic. Them all talking about production and the team like that, as if there's never been one issue or problem or like logistical thing that Meredith has to encounter during production. Like, Whitney getting on her high moral ground over that shit was so frustrating to me. And I agree with you completely. It was the last ditch effort to try to make her look shit and shame her. It was so silly to me.
They were like, I think Whitney was saying, they kept bringing up the Us Weekly cover, and she was like, there are many more souls behind the scenes and cameras of that cover, as if they were like on the cover of Time magazine.
It was so ridiculous to me, calling it the team in production over and over again, as if not one person could ever make a mistake in the history of Bravo production. That was ridiculous. It all was really like, it was so, it's just, I think, as someone who is so team Lisa and Meredith, like, I find it hard to suffer through. I mean, when Lisa was like talking about her feelings, and she was like about the John stuff, where she was like, I never try to make him look bad, and then he made me look horrible, and everyone was like, oh, it was so great what you did. Don't talk shit about reality television. That was wonderful. And then Heather's trying to like interpret what she says, and they're all just jumping, and Lisa's like, God damn, I can't even talk. Like, she can't even say any words without them all having to like chime in or piggyback off it or make it worse or have the worst interpretation. I felt like that it was the entire time with Lisa and Meredith. Like, everyone was just picking apart every single thing they said because they hate them, and they're trying to make them look as bad as possible the entire time.
They were like, hello, Andy told us that our vulnerability is what makes the show shine. He thanked us. Why would you ever say anything against that? We've talked about this over the past couple of years, but Andy has softened to a degree that is shocking to me. Like, whenever people, when Bronwyn talks about her separation, when she talked about Muzzy feeling attacked by Reddit, etc., he really is like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. That is horrible. And I'm like, since when? Like, what?
Yeah, I think I've said this before, but I never saw, this is the path I've seen Andy on, I think, since I started, uh, you know, tuning into Bravo. Like, I never saw that harsher side to him. So I don't really have that change in demeanor. Uh,
I feel like post children, he softened in like the way that he complimented them all on the kinds of mothers they are. I think fatherhood changed him because it
yeah.
feels like that makes sense in the timeline.
Yeah, yes, totally. And I think a part of it is also, I agree that he's trying to be a good person and empathize or whatever. But a part of it, I think, is that he always takes notes of what Bravo viewers or people who are like trying to hold on to the reality reckoning, like they might
Uh-huh.
they might target, like when he was talking about the Bronwyn and Todd divorce. He was like, do you think this show did it? Like getting ahead of that, so he's conscious of maybe
Yeah.
the toxicity that could be there too, as
I
well as
agree.
being very naturally empathetic.
Yeah, he did sort of, I think he was low key trying to back Meredith off of this anti-Semitic storyline. He was like, don't you think that she didn't know, or once she found out, didn't she take the post down? Like, can we please move on from this? He was kind of like, I don't think that's
Yeah.
what she was intending. And Meredith was trying to say that she's like, I threw Angie out of my bat mitzvah for her, and this is what I get. And
Yeah.
he goes, well, maybe she just doesn't like you.
That was, he said, no offense, but maybe she doesn't like you and you don't like her. So what the hell? So, yeah, I mean, I know that Meredith does have to account for leveling a potentially false allegation of anti-Semitism at another cast member. That was pretty huge when we talked about it last week. That was bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad. And I still stand by not thinking that it's true after hearing the actual story of what Brittany went through. Since then, Brittany has said that she never wants to film with Meredith again. Which I think is a huge deal, because at this point, Meredith is the one who seems like she's on the ropes. And now I think if they are put into a corner of what to do here, they might fire Meredith to keep Brittany. But then after watching again how they all attacked Meredith throughout this thing and talking about the horrors of talking shit about production and stuff, I was like, God damn it, I hope to God Meredith fights back and keeps her snowflake on this. Like, I fully rallied again around her, even though she did something that I think was horrible. But it's just like, I mean, I still want her to apologize for
Right.
that, which she didn't do, which is kind
No.
of horrible. I hope that maybe by the time that the part 3 airs, Meredith will have apologized to Brittany for that.
Right. Yeah, they revisit the airplane. She says that she did have a single drink in the lounge, and Andy was saying the audience was very confused about why you didn't remember the ending of, I think he called it Crazy and Rich Asians.
He did. Oh my God. Yeah. He goes, it was such a memorable, iconic ending. How could you not forget what happened at the end of it? And even Whitney goes, the descent of the plane completely was perfectly correlated with the climax of the film. So how could you have not known what happened? It's like, oh my God, this is so crazy that we're talking about this.
Someone was watching it by me on my flight the other day, and also on my flight on the way out, someone was watching season, I think 7 Roni on their iPad, and I was like, hell yeah.
Oh my God, that is so. Oh my, could you imagine rewatching season 7 of Roni? Then Lisa kind of gets, says, brings up source of all dirt again, because she's like, the reason why I rallied around Meredith is because I knew what it felt like to be fully attacked and bullied by all of you and put it, and I wanted to jump off that boat. So I sympathize with Meredith's plight. I think that's sort of her saying, like, you guys are a nightmare to deal with when you're all against us. So they have that moment, and Heather still reiterates that she thinks that Lisa's the source of all dirt, but that she still wants to be friends with Lisa and hopes that they can make it through this. And Lisa's like, if you think I'm the source of all dirt, leaking shit to the press and trying to make you all look bad, why would you want to be my friend? Like, it makes no sense.
Right. No, I mean, all of this, I was just like getting kind of bored. It was all the same shit again and again. And then Meredith is like, I'll take a drug test. I've never done drugs. These accusations hurt my business. Whitney apologizes for the pill popper comment because she didn't actually call her pill popper. It was kind of like when what's her name was like if Teresa's daughter was doing coke in the bathroom, and it's like it was an example gone wrong. So I was just like annoyed with that. And then Meredith is like, yes, I vented to Lisa, and I'm sorry if it hurt Brittany. It was at inappropriate time and place. And Angie doubles down and says that if she had done to her what she did to Brittany, the air marshal would have been waiting on the tarmac.
It was over. The conversation was over. Andy said, no more plane. No,
Yeah.
He said, no more plane. And Angie goes, one more thing. If that had been me, I would have called the air marshal to meet me at the gate. It's like, he goes, oh my God, Angie, please. Like, it was so over. Like, no more talking about that plane.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Baby,
Nothing
there's
happened
no
on it.
plane.
And I gotta be honest, fully honest. When Brittany reacted to the anti-Semitism, she was very upset. And they were like, this is how she acted on the plane. And I was like, well, okay. That sort of explains things to me. Like, it's bad, and I don't want anybody to be treated badly. But if that was the reaction she had, then anyone would think that she had suffered the worst horrors known to man. It seemed like a very strong reaction, and Brittany had so it kind of actually made me understand what possibly could have happened on the plane. Like, maybe, she heard Meredith talking shit and she was hysterically crying. It seems bad, I guess. But now we got a real life version of what Brittany did after the plane. It was just like when she was accused of anti-Semitism.
Right. No, she was quite upset. And I don't know. It's like we get a Whitney Justin update. Who cares? She said they're working on it. It didn't seem that hopeful, frankly. And she said that she bought back her inventory. She owns Wild Rose Beauty by herself now. And so more to come on that. When she flees the stage later, she goes to his arms and she cries about what an amazing man he is. So obviously she wants to make it work.
Yeah, he's amazing. I mean, everybody could see it. At one point, she's talking, and I felt like Whitney has horrible karma because she's talking. She's like, Justin, he's the most wonderful man. And they pan to Mary, and Mary's like this, fully asleep. And she does the classic. She does the classic where you open your eyes really wide to wake yourself up, and he goes, Mary, are you? And it sounded like he's been down this road before with Mary where she might have fallen asleep. And it seems like Mary did admit that she might have fallen asleep a little bit during Whitney's segment.
That was me during the Testament of Anne Lee. I was like,
this was definitely could have been cut. We'll do this quickly, but it was like he just had one question for everyone. This was such a weird. He goes, Brooks. He goes, what, Meredith? What's going on with Brooks? And she goes, you
Brooks
saw
Pan?
Yeah, he goes. She goes, you saw it on Next Gen NYC. Brooks isn't working with me, and he goes, Seth is pansexual. Meredith goes, yeah, we got to talk about that. Heather, empty nester. She goes, yeah, it's interesting. Olivia at BravoCon. Yeah, Jared was there. I was like, what is this? Are you guys adding purposeful time to this?
Yeah,
to
they
make
were
it
like, this is Peacock extended and uncut. We got to hit 52 minutes or whatever.
Yeah. But we do get the Lisa and John thing, though. I mean, that was beautiful for Lisa heads, of which there are none. No one will ever say they're a Lisa head. I want to hear it.
None.
The Villa Rosa VIPs, Little Turtle Cuties. Who is on my side about Lisa Barlow? I feel so isolated. Like, there has to be people that like her. She's the center snowflake holder, and she's the one who's on the UGT road trip. Like, she's the main character of this franchise. I cannot believe that people don't value her like I do. But Andy goes, a viewer said that John was really rubbing your nose and shit, humiliating you on purpose.
Doing a total Todd.
Yeah, and she goes, that was awful. She admits. This is Lisa opening up. She's like, you want me to be fucking vulnerable? Let me tell you my true thoughts about all of this. For people who say I'm not accountable or whatever. I felt awful. I never want to make John look bad. When John was accused of having a threesome in those text messages last season, Lisa, it was like you hurt her beyond belief. She did not want John to look bad in any way. Mm-hmm. And she said, I've done that for years for John, and then he made me look horrible. She said after she rewatched it, she could not talk to him for 2 days because she felt like her heart was broken. Mm-hmm. And then that was a vulnerable moment. And then Immediately, everyone chimes in to get a little piece of this Lisa spotlight because it was shined on her for more than 10 seconds. So Heather tries to interpret for her. Angie misconstrues what she says. Whitney tries to leapfrog on whatever the hell she says. And then Lisa goes, I'm just going to shut up. None of you will let me talk. No one knows what I'm saying right now.
Right.
And then the segment just ends after that.
Well, it's like Andy was trying to throw her a bone where, because she's like, it broke my heart, blah, blah. And Andy was like, I don't think you came off badly. I think it was just the scene was real. And they're all like, yeah, it was just real. And Mary's like, if your husband tells you you're a bad listener, you are, and you should accept that. And she's like, I don't need clarification.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not trying to explain my feelings. I mean, it's falling on deaf ears. Everybody goes, deaf ears? Oh my God. Mary goes, she doesn't want to hear it. Deaf ears. It's like, oh my God. To be a Lisa stan, it's a hard world. Bronwyn has to deal with the muzzy of it all.
Yeah. Yeah, she has a sad, sort of a bleak segment. It begins by saying her dad died right after Grease. We know that he went to memory care, but then he just tripped and fell and then immediately devolved and died.
Horrible. Oh my
Muzzy had never acknowledged that he had dementia in the first place. So she was like, what the hell? Like, how did this happen? And she was like, Muzzy, come on now. We know.
Yes.
And I guess she said that there were a couple of pertinent Muzzy convos that we saw this season. One when she was wearing that crazy cat shirt that was like, I'm insane, or whatever it said. It was like, don't fuck with me.
It was. It was a cat that had a bunch of those squiggly lines over its head, and it said, don't fuck with me.
Muzzy sweatshirt. Do you think anything will come up?
Muzzy sweatshirt, that big Muzzy from that one learning program.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I guess she watched it and was like, oh wait, I found it. Hold on. Oh my God, someone went as her for Halloween. What a great costume.
That is so wonderful. Oh my God, that's what Muzzy saw online.
I'm fine. Everything is fine.
But the cat is in some sort of interesting scenario, right? Isn't the cat
It's like, it looks like frazzled. Like it's been electrocuted and it's like, it's me, I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Oh my God. Yeah. And he even called it out. He said, what a wonderful sweater. And then she said that both Muzzy and Todd did this, but first Muzzy did this. Muzzy did some deep Reddit digging, and Muzzy found out how the viewers were talking about her, and it was not good. And then she got resentful of Bronwyn for bringing her on this show and making her a target of hate for, the Bravo fandom.
Muzzy found the memes.
Yeah, I was like, what Muzzy memes were there? We would have made a Muzzy meme.
Muzzy memes.
I want to see these Muzzy memes that she saw. What were they? We didn't make one. Like,
how did she find them?
We make some of the best memes in the Bravo universe. We didn't make one Muzzy meme. We Muzzy memes.
Andy's like, dear God, I can only imagine. That's horrible.
I love when he kept talking about the portal to hell when they talk about what Todd was doing too. They're like, that's horrible. I'm so sorry I had to suffer through that.
Yeah, I do feel like Andy reckons with how toxic the Bravo internet can be, and he's like, that's a real problem, frankly. But Andy does throw Todd a bone, saying, I was heartened to hear that he helped your mom move when all that shit was going down. And he's like, maybe that's a side of him we don't get to see. Like, he was sort of like, this is your opportunity to say something nice about Todd. And she goes, do you have any more questions about Todd? And he's like, I do. And she's like, where do you want me to start? Like, how we were doing while we were filming, or how we're doing now? And he's like, whatever you want. Like, tell me whatever you want. And she's like, I don't know where to begin. And I'm like, why are you framing this so confusingly? Just say what you want to say.
I think it was, being new to reunion still, where she's like, how many questions do I have to answer before you get to the truth about what's going on? But it was kind of confusing. She's like, this was so hard. She says, Todd and I are separated. Her choice. Yep. And Andy says, what made you say enough is enough? And she said, this year was so hard for me. And she said that she didn't really have Todd, I think, on her side for a lot of these things that she was trying to be open and talk about, that he was like, didn't want her talking about open marriage stuff and didn't want her confiding in Whitney over stuff. So she felt very isolated and alone about some of this Todd stuff that she was going through.
Yeah, like it felt untenable to continue to do the show while not being able to talk about their problems, which were getting bigger.
Yeah.
And he didn't tell her she had to stop doing the show, but it became impossible, it sounds
Yeah.
like.
Wasn't he cheating?
Well,
I mean, why can't we
There's-
say he was cheating?
there's the lingerie texts of it all. There's the make out and fart of it all.
Yeah. Make out and fart. Lest we forget what happened this season.
Yeah, she's still defending him. She said that because she's not allowed to talk any shit about him on the show, she felt like she was just doing PR. But she still feels so bad about breaking up with him and said it was the worst thing she's ever had to do. And this is where he went fully mad. He said he watched every episode starting at season 1. I was like, you didn't have to go pre-Bronwyn.
I know. I would have loved to be there for Todd watch.
We're like Roni, season 7 plus, Beverly Hills, season 1, Old Atlanta.
Absolutely. He could have skipped the first 3. That would have been totally fine if he wanted to start with 4. No, but to be a fly on the wall when Todd was doing the Salt Lake City binge from season 1, that would have been so fun. He could have started a podcast immediately on iHeart of him doing a rewatch.
I'm picturing the Tony Soprano like eating salsa out of a can in the guest house.
Oh, absolutely. He would do that. Oh my God. When Tony gets that awesome TV in there and he's watching The Fugitive over and over again and AJ wants to sleep with him out there. Oh my God. That's one of the best seasons of all time. They go, Todd texted me. He's in his boxers watching everything from Salt Lake City season 1. Heather goes, oh shit. And then they go, and then he got on Reddit and he goes, oh boy. And then he got on Twitter. Oh God. And then he got on Instagram. They go, holy shit. And he was just decimated by this stuff that he saw. It's like, what did he see? Todd sucks.
I mean, I don't even search our shit on Reddit. I don't want to know. Like, fuck that.
Yeah, of course not. I don't want to hear the worst thing. Right, yeah. Who am I to talk? I can't see one bad word about me ever anywhere in the world. But I'm just saying, yeah. I guess it's like it's the penance of suffering through that. I could not imagine putting yourself through doing deep dives on Reddit about how awful you are. Like, it sounds horrible.
Lashing himself like Paul Bettany in the Da Vinci Code. They're like,
Absolute-
Todd's a fucking asshole who farts, and he's like,
yeah. Oh my God, you can't even take it. Yeah. So he went on Reddit, like he was just scouring Reddit for days, seeing everything that was going on, which is, which that's rough, I guess. What was that supposed to say? Just that he feels bad?
Yeah, I guess so. It reminded me kind of because I guess when they talked after he did all of that, he was like, was it really so bad when I took the cherry? Like,
Yeah.
do you really feel like I don't look at you when I speak? Like, how? And Muzzy did the same thing. And it reminded me of on Sex and the City, Big reads Carrie's book and she wants to have sex with him. I think it's the one when she takes the train from New York to San Francisco. They establish a never again mentioned fear of flying for Carrie. And he reads her book and is like, holy shit, I was terrible. I feel so bad. She's like, but can we fuck? Like, I really just like came all the way out here to have sex with you. And he's like, no, I feel so bad. Like, I treated you like absolute shit. Like, I can't believe all this stuff. And she's like, it's fine. It's fine.
Wow. Oh my God. So that is sort of like Bronwyn and Todd, right?
He's like, oh my God, I took your cherry. And Mary's like, I thought it was funny.
Yeah. She goes, I thought it was cute. She said, I liked when he took that cherry. I thought it showed your playful dynamic between you two. And everyone was like, that was horrible when he ate that cherry out of her cherry sundae. I kind of forgot. He did that. She said,
Yeah.
I always like to eat the cherries in my sundaes. And he goes, well, fuck
you.
that. Fuck you. I want it. That was probably huge. He was looking at memes of that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
him as a
Yeah.
monster.
He's like,
eating a
I drink your
cherry.
milkshake.
Oh, absolutely. Him as Daniel Plainview saying, I want your cherry milkshake if I can have it. Could you imagine the memes he was probably seeing on
He's like, no.
Reddit? Yeah, he goes, this is horrible. I am awful. I'm kind of surprised that Todd was so crestfallen.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, will we ever know the real Todd? Because she paints so many different pictures.
Yeah, it's like, you should have seen him. he was so upset when I was leaving him. It's like, it seemed awful, your guys' relationship.
Totally.
And then Andy says, I wish you strength. Oh, and
Yeah.
then Whitney, sorry, we got to say, I was rolling my eyes to the back of my head when Whitney goes, Andy goes, you're really emotional, Whitney. What the hell is going on with you over there? She goes, this is me, just like me and Justin, but the reverse of me. Because Justin is wonderful and I'm horrible. And can I have a minute? I got to go hug Justin backstage, please. We have to watch in real time as she goes and has to hug Justin about some shit that has nothing to do with her for 4 minutes of this reunion.
Yeah. When we saw it in the preview, I thought it was something horrible, like her daughter's health or something. And I was like, oh, she's just upset that her and Justin are having some road bumps, whatever. Bronwyn also said that she's still in Utah, Todd is staying in New York, and that she will not be seeing him on this trip. But yeah, Whitney, when she comes back, she's still crying when she gets back from backstage. And she's like, sometimes you just can't figure it out. It's horrible. And Bronwyn's like, thank you.
I think Whitney just needed a little slice of the reunion pie for a second. It didn't really, no offense, but it didn't really work for me. This was when we get to production gate pretty soon here, where they're all sort of championing the spirit of teamwork and the wonderful, ethical, beautiful production team of Salt Lake City, which is like, I love production as much as anybody, but Jesus Christ, what the hell are you guys talking about?
That said, production did throw in a little montage of Meredith complaining about the edit and a few other things. So they did back it up in the edit.
Well, there's a moment that completely confirms what Meredith said, which is that when Heather's like, you called me a liar when you had that founding fathers wig on. She goes, I pointed at you accidentally, and then I said in real to everyone in the moment that I was not pointing at you. And then they show the clip of unseen footage of her saying, I didn't mean to call you a liar. So Heather is working in a world in which we didn't see that clip, and Meredith is acknowledging that there was a reality that she filmed. So if it's little moments like that, I don't doubt for 1 second that Meredith loves every single producer on this team. She probably calls them and gives them birthday cards and sings happy birthday to them more than anyone else on this stage. It's just that she can be frustrated sometimes. If logistically they didn't honor some hour window where Meredith wanted to call Brooks before he went on a flight and they had to leave 30 minutes early, I could imagine with reasonably why Meredith would be a little frustrated in that moment. It did not have to be this call to arms about the beauty and integrity of this team. I thought it was so ridiculous. Like, and I'll never be able to be swayed from that.
Yeah. I did. I feel like there were a lot of unseen moments on this reunion that sort of clarified things where I'm like, are there usually this many where if they would have just shown these little blips that there wouldn't have had to be so much back and forth?
Well, there was there was a huge one where when they talk about Bronwyn, when Bronwyn has to take her shot at Meredith for no reason, she's like, I said multiple times that I don't give a shit what Seth was doing and I had no clue and it didn't even look that bad. I was talking about the hypocrisy of bringing relations. It's like, that was not clear in the edit at all. It seemed like a very cut and dry accusation of Seth cheating. Like, that is a moment we missed where she downgraded it to not a scandal at all. So I agree with you about that.
I wish that there was footage of what Meredith said about the lunch, because she's like, I asked, how was your lunch? And I'm like, I'm sure it ended there. Like, how were your kebabs?
Yeah, how was your lunch? You didn't talk about anything, did you? But I really, be that as it may, I really don't care if Meredith off camera asks Bronwyn, hey, what the fuck did you talk about at lunch?
Sure.
Little did she know that it was a full 3 accusations of people painting her as an alcoholic and a drug addict.
They denied it.
They denied it, right? Is that right around now? They go, we didn't mean that at all. How did you get that?
What? We had hummus. Like, what are you talking about? Nothing more. And then Bronwyn and Meredith get into it. This is where, she goes, she blames Meredith for never defending her against rumors, like Todd rumors. And Meredith's like, I never said any shit about Todd. And she's like, but you didn't stop it. And I'm like, all right, well, where do we draw the line with shit like that?
Totally. That's exactly what I thought. It's like you're mad at Meredith for letting Lisa say stuff about you and not defending you all the time to her. Like, this was just I love Bronwyn, but this was so ridiculous. It was her having a little inch to go nuts on. She goes, I love Meredith and I value her friendship and I can't wait to be friends with her again. But I hate how the hell she treated me. It's like, you just said you love her and want to be friends with her. So why do we have to suffer through this for 5 minutes?
Yeah, she was like, they were saying Meredith was using the Mother's Day thing to bravo, fucking bravo out of the hot seat that she was in. And Bronwyn's like, you are not above having these hard conversations. You need to sit the fuck down and have the conversations. And Meredith is like, what the hell? And this is where Bronwyn says she feels used. Meredith is like, I don't use you, but sorry if you feel that way. It's just like, all of this is for naught. Like, it's just like, who cares?
Yeah.
And then Lisa and Angie talk about how they always go back and forth, but they want to move forward. So it's kind of at the end of the day, they're all like, I hate you, but goddamn if I don't love you.
I love ya. They go, it's a hamster wheel that keeps on spinning, baby. I am a hamster on a wheel, but I hope it spins for the rest of my life. It was, they were actually, they were just spinning their wheels at the end of it.
Yeah, he made them do final thoughts, which I guess they've done before, but I was like, what the hell is this? Like, I learned that patience is a virtue that pays back in dividends or whatever. I was like, okay.
Trust is a flat circle. One of them said, failure is God turning backwards and saying hello. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? That play, the finale, the season finale, he didn't talk about it for 1 second. He goes, what did Stella think about that? What was Stella thinking when she wrote that play? It's a hamster on a wheel, Andy. It's like, that was the crux of this whole season, this Greek tragic play. It had no effect on this season at all.
Angie does mention in her final toast that the sisters of the salt are nothing without each other. So there was a little nod there, but they didn't even get cocktails for their final toast. They got baklava.
It was too late. They were serving them espressos and cappuccinos. It was 10 p.m. They'd been there for 12 hours. It's like, for what? Were you trying to make gold? Were you Rumpelstiltskin trying to make a bunch of garbage into gold? This is not working. It's not working. This was not a great season of Salt Lake City. I have to say it. As fun and wonderful as they all are, this was Rumpelstiltskin putting a bunch of hay into gold strings, trying to, and they just couldn't do it. It sucked, and it made me not enjoy Heather. It made me dislike Whitney even more.
Yeah.
It made me look at Bronwyn askance. Makes Angie, I'm like, for Lisa, what is the benefit of ever being friends with Angie again? She's turned on you 100 times. Even after this beautiful moment where you're like, I'm a hamster with you. Angie made that Ben Affleck comment about how that shitty comment just recently, 2 weeks ago, to make Lisa look like shit. And say that Ben Affleck recognized her dog and not Lisa. I'm like, okay, so the hamster wheel is still churning and spinning between you two. I don't really know. I don't know what the future can be when you have this much of an antagonistic relationship with two people and it's out of thin air, pretty much, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. We definitely need to rejigger some stuff. But I have no idea in what way they will. I also just saw that, sorry to bring this up, but I refreshed and saw that Gretchen's out on OC. So there's some stuff going on over there. I wonder if, like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know what the Salt Lake recipe should be.
I like this cast. I love them. I think it's a great cast, and I think that whatever they did here, the dynamic shift that they caused, the rift that they caused, is worth seeing through to the next season with this cast. But I just have to say, if Meredith is asked back, which I almost think is like not a huge chance, but if Meredith is asked back, and obviously Lisa's going to be back, I really am saying that they need to fucking go scorched earth and like annihilate the rest of the cast. Because if you let them treat you like this, they are going to bully you off the show eventually. I mean, I've seen when they have nothing, how they treat you all. And I want Lisa and Meredith to reassert their power on this cast. Like, this is a fucking nightmare. Get Bronwyn on your side, get Angie on your side, take down Heather in any fucking way you can. I mean, she went nuts on both of them this season for no reason. And I would just push back in every way for as long as Bravo will have you, until the the dynamic changes again. This was rough for Lisa
Go
and Meredith.
nuclear.
Go nuclear on them.
Did you also notice that in between at the commercial, they did a little Rhode Island preview, which I keep forgetting that show exists.
Me too. Me too. We're gonna have a new show to talk about. No, I didn't think they gave me enough.
No.
I saw one cast member and they said, I've got an unorthodox relationship. My significant other is dating a lot of people. I was like, that's my sneak peek. I need to see more of this stuff. It was like 1 second long.
She did appear to be mega wealthy, which was interesting to me.
Yeah, me too. Well, I can't wait to talk about Rhode Island. That'll be coming out soon.
Yeah, so more to look forward to. But starting next week, this slot will be filled by Summer House, which cannot complain about that.
No, that's good. This slot just got a hell of a lot better.
Hell yeah. And we get, not to peek behind the curtain, but we get Summer House screeners so we can record it during the day.
Yeah.
Not to brag.
Yeah, no more night records. Look outside on
Under
YouTube.
the moonlight.
It's night, and I'm tired, and we watch this until 8 o'clock every night. I cannot wait. Summer House is in the day, and Wednesdays just got a hell of a lot better on Turtle Time.
Oh, hell
Mark
yeah.
your calendars. Summer House is going to come in swinging, and we're going to be talking about it all the time, every single drop of it. This thing is going to be huge for Turtle Time. Absolutely.
Major.
All right.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this coverage of Salt Lake as we come to a close. More to come later.
Oh, yeah. On Turtle Time, oh, yeah. There's definitely stuff that's going to be talked about. So just lastly, come on. Cut this shit. Let's cut this shit. If you like Turtle Time and you said, whoa, what the hell was that recap of that reunion? Well, then why don't you go to an oasis of even more content that Amy and I provide? It's the Turtle Time Patreon. This thing is so piping hot with fucking amazing content that your hair is going to be blown off the back of your head. This shit has the best content in the world. We're doing a Vanderpump Rules recap series in which there are over 100 and probably 30 episodes now that you could wade through if you paid $6. And the Villa Rosa Film Society is hot as lava. For $10 a month, you are going to get the sexiest recap of, I think, what won
It's
for
neck
February.
and neck. I think we have to call for a tiebreaker, you guys. We're between, unless it's changed in the last few hours, Twilight or Showgirls for Sexy Valentines.
Wow. So Villa Rosa Film Society, you choose, you map out the future. And we have, I think it's the percentages are neck and neck. So there's not even vote totals to where we know what got
I
one more vote.
downloaded the CSV and it was exactly the same on both.
Whoa. So this is unprecedented. We've only done this for 6 months or so we have no idea if we're going to recap Showgirls or Twilight. So you want to tune in for February. That's our monthly movie. Regardless, it's going to be a sexy, sexy month over there on the Turtle Time Patreon. And so pay a lot of money to us in any way you can. And if you want an unpaid version of not giving us money, I don't know why the hell you would ever do that. But there's a lot of free ways you can support Turtle Time, right?
Yep. Rate and review. We've only gotten one Apple review in all of January, so please help us there.
Please.
And then watch on YouTube, comment, follow us on Instagram, any of those places that we are, follow us, comment. And then, I mean, this also includes money, but we have an Etsy shop as well.
Oh, yeah. Go back to money. Spend money on us, please. And then really, if you have not done a review, but you do enjoy Turtle Time, please throw one of those up there whenever you can, whenever you have 10 minutes. We would love to see a new review come in.
Spotify, too. We're there.
Oh, my God. I love Spotify now. Oh, my God. We have video on Spotify. Just go nuts.
Yeah. Go wild.
Go wild over there.
Thanks for joining us. We'll be back on Friday and then Monday.
Yeah. That's the schedule. We love you. Bye.